Sting was like the way that they built Sting up as kind of like this avenging angel vigilante up in the rafters, and you don't know when he's gonna rappel down and beat people up. And he didn't talk for like 16 months, and he didn't wrestle for like 18 months, and it was really a unique way of building up a character that had not been done before. And especially in the height of that wrestling war, where they were battling the WWF every Monday night for ratings, and they were not using in matches like one of their top guys in Sting. So it took like a lot of like guts to do that for WCW, but it all worked out because Sting just became so popular, even though he wasn't wrestling or talking. And that's crazy to think that someone could become so popular doing that. But there was an aura about him, and again, it was like the NWO was so of its time as far as like the anti-hero culture of the 90s.
Yep.
And Sting was also an anti-hero, but a different kind of anti-hero. The NWO was kind of like the jocks, like the cool kids, like who got all the girls at school, and they got away with everything, and they're charismatic, but they're ass. I don't know if can I curse on this?
Yeah,
They're jerks.
yeah.
They're jerks. And Sting was like kind of like the loser. Sting was kind of like the aloof, like loner, like misfit, who also kind of took on that, like you said, anti-establishment in another way. And it took like a dark character like Sting to kind of represent a threat to the NWO, because what was working in wrestling was no longer working in the mid 90s as far as like who was really a hero, who was considered a hero, who was considered cool. Because the NWO was cheered for the most part. They were the bad guys, but they were cheered. So you needed to almost go darker to get someone to go against the NWO, and that's what Sting became. And it's really interesting how, because he was really actually suffering in real life,
Oh yeah.
because he was going through a lot of stuff with painkillers and substance abuse, and he was going through things in his marriage, and he was really actually like it was almost like kind of like a life imitating art thing, where he felt isolated the same way that he looked isolated up in the rafters every show. And that was kind of like, and you'll probably ask me this, but that was kind of ended up kind of being like his undoing,
Yeah.
and arguably the undoing of the NWO too, because he just wasn't in like the right mindset to be the top guy to kind of overtake the NWO. But and you asked me about something else too. You
Yeah,
said Sting, someone else.
I was just saying, you got. I was like, my favorite group is the DX.
DX,
And
yeah.
I
I
want to
mean,
hear your thoughts on them as well.
look, I mean, I think it's safe to say that the crotch chop has become a very American thing. It's an American cultural like hallmark. It's just something that got so popular in the 90s that everyone got in trouble for doing it in school. And it's still part of just like the American. I don't even know how to explain it. It's
I
part of
say
our culture.
you still get in trouble when you do it. You got Anthony Edwards doing it in basketball games, and
Yeah,
George Kittle.
Joel Embiid keeps getting like fined by the NBA for doing it. He keeps doing it anyway, And I covered the UFC. Like I said, UFC fighters do it all the time. When they win, it's part of the celebration. It's just part of us now somehow. And Sean Waltman, who was X-Pac in DX, and he was 6 in the NWO, and he was the 1-2-3 kid before that. He was kind of like the guy who made that famous. Even before DX, he was doing it in the NWO and as the 1-2-3 kid. And I was happy to get a chance to ask him about that. Like, how do you feel for bringing that into American culture? Because it's part of American culture now, and he's kind of honored. He's kind of
If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookupapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.